Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Capellen in Luxembourg. Now, like I say quite often on my channel, this is a very tiny part of a very tiny country, so there isn't a whole lot to talk about. Unfortunately, I wish I could talk more about Luxembourg, but I will link the Luxembourg playlist up in the corner. I think it's just maybe one or two videos, but you'll learn a lot more about the history of Luxembourg there. So, just talking about this little bit of Luxembourg. And sadly on Google Earth there's not a lot to show you, but I did film little bits of things that I did find in this area on Google Earth. So let me first start by putting in my zoom out of Capellen and Luxembourg on Google Earth so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Luxembourg is in Western Europe, part of an area that's called Benelux, which is short for Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands. Luxembourg here borders Belgium, which are Canton actually. Our Canton tonight borders Belgium. It borders France and Germany. This area of Luxembourg is a bit hilly, a bit mountainous, but it's mostly just very quiet, pleasant farmland. Rolling hills, beautiful scenery. It's just outside the capital, which is also Luxembourg City. So it's almost kind of like a suburb in a sense. It's like the area, like when you are in a big city and you drive out of the city limits far enough, you start hitting country and farmland. That's this place here. So let me show you some of the things I found on Google Earth. Starting with these Roman ruins that I found. There is a Roman bath that is in the town of Malmer, I believe it's pronounced, and a really cool villa outside of Courage, which I don't think is actually on my map, Courage anyway. There's also a brick kiln that was found in this part of Luxembourg, which is pretty cool. Part of the Roman road ran through this area, heading toward, I guess, Western Europe, heading up into Paris and whatnot. It was originally, though, a Celtic settlement. The villa actually was built on top of old Celtic tombs. So, a lot of Roman history here. Definitely was all destroyed. It's all very much in ruins now, definitely destroyed by the Germanic peoples who would invade during the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Another interesting place I found is Courage Castle. It was built during the 12th century by the Dukes of Luxembourg. I believe they were still called dukes at that time. The Duke of Luxembourg still around today. It's the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. They built a lot of castles. This is just like the only major one in this area. As you can see in the slideshow here, it is ruined now. It's slowly but surely decayed, but I did read that they're trying to rebuild it to make it more into a tourist visiting place, although you can visit it today, that's no problem, but make it more interactive and safer to walk around, I suppose. So there's that as well. The area was never really anything major. I suppose it still isn't, but it really wasn't much until about the 1700s when major roads, I assume today we would call it this road right here, going into Belgium and then down into France, was built through this area. So that also reminds me of, I'm sure other countries have this too, but I've been on a lot of road trips in the US when you're out on the road and you need to stop for gas or snacks or bathroom, and you just find a little town that has like one gas station And then you could see like the little homes, whatever. It looks like population 100. It's kind of like that. It built up around the road, these little towns here. And that's pretty much all that it's been. It's been a place to pull over on the side of the road if you need to stay for the night or refill your snacks or something like that. A little wayside area. The only other interesting fact that I read about this area was in 1840 when all of the cantons of Luxembourg were drawn up. This one was established, and there is a debate between the two largest little towns here on what to call it, because they were naming all of the regions after the towns associated with them. So you can see here's Mamir, and then Courage is like over here, right? It's not on the map. So there was an argument between these two towns over who the canton should be named after. So it was decided it would be named after the town of Capellen, which is about right here, just very close to Mamir. So a good agreement. If you guys can't decide, then nobody gets it, right? That's funny, but that's why it's named after one of these smallest towns in this canton. There is a NATO base built in the actual town of Capellen, and there's not much else there, to be honest. It's mostly just little homes and little churches and things like that. So that is pretty much all of the history that I have for this canton. Short but sweet. But I did record some Luxembourg whispered facts for you. So if you enjoy some whispered content, just hold tight. If not, you can click off the video and check out my other Luxembourg videos, which are soft spoken, I believe. I don't know. I know I've done at least one that's soft spoken, so you can check that out. So I'll let you go and enjoy some whispered content. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you would take the time to give this video a thumbs up and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Tomorrow we're going to start an interesting little 3-day series because there are 3 places in the world named capital. There is, I wonder if you can guess them. There's one in the Middle East. There's one in Europe. I'll give you about Eastern Europe. And there's one in Oceania, in Melanesia. I'll give you a little more of a hint there. For Middle East, I'll give you a hint that it's a tiny country in the Middle East. Can you guess what those capital cities are? I'm always excited to talk about capital cities, and we've got 3 in a row. Not to mention Caracas in Venezuela is coming up not long after that. So lots of capital cities coming. And Cardiff is coming not long after that. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on all these fun videos. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. 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 Here are 30 facts about Luxembourg. How well do you know the grandest duchy of them all? Here's an overview of 30 facts about Luxembourg you maybe didn't know. Pretty picture there. It's very nice. It says, in 2015, comedian John Oliver called Luxembourg France without all its cultural institutions. The political commentator rammed home his point by adding, if you Google interesting Luxembourg facts, the result is just a page that says no. I love John Oliver. From cultural highlights to national dishes, here are 2,500 plus words that aren't no about some of the unique and lesser known facts about Luxembourg. So we have 5 different types. We have cultural facts, historical facts, money and power, typical Luxembourg, question mark, facts about the people of Luxembourg, and other random facts. So starting with cultural facts about Luxembourg, number 1. Luxembourg has won the Eurovision Song Contest 5 times. With both 7 victories, Ireland and Sweden are the most successful countries in the international song competition. Sorry for my tummy there. International song competition. Luxembourg is in shared third place with France, the Netherlands, and the UK, each having 5 wins on their backs. The Grand Duchy scored first place in 1961, 1965, 1972, 1973, and 1983, and has hosted the contest 4 times. After being relegated from participating in 1994, Luxembourg withdrew from the competition until 2023. After 31 years of absence, the country returned to the contest in 2024, which took place in Malmö, Sweden. The song Fighter, performed by Dolly, placed 13th out of 25. Number 2, the Grand Duke's official birthday is on the 23rd of June, also known as National Day. A lot of times it'll tell you stuff in French, German, and Luxembourgish, which I'm not going to bother to pronounce. I can only pronounce the French ones. So it's not really fair to the Germans or Luxembourgers out there. So we're just not going to pronounce any of it. Also known as National Day, the Grand Duke's official birthday is celebrated on the 23rd of June. However, interestingly, neither the current Grand Duke nor any ruler in the history of the Grand Duchy was ever born that day. The date actually goes back to Grand Duchess Charlotte's birthday on 23rd January. In 1962, the practical decision was made to move the public holiday to June and enjoy the warmer weather. Nice. Number 3, the country's official motto. And here it is in what I assume is Luxembourgish, meaning we want to remain what we are. The motto refers to the country's tumultuous history and the wish to remain independent now and in the future. One of the more interesting facts about Luxembourg is that it was passed back and forth between various European powers, from France to the Spanish to the Austrians and back to the French. Over the centuries, 3 partitions of Luxembourg have reduced the territory from 10,700 square kilometers to the present-day area of 2,586 square kilometers, which is 4,100 square miles to just 998 square miles. The lost regions are now part of modern-day Belgium, France, and Germany. Number 4, Luxembourg is one of the safest countries in the world. Crime rates in Luxembourg are impressively low. In 2019, it was even named the safest country in the world for expats. One of the most telling facts about Luxembourg's safety is that the police force has around 2,800 officers working for them, while there are just 3 jails in the entire Grand Duchy. Number 5, the capital is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. From the 16th to the 19th century, Luxembourg was one of Europe's greatest fortified sites, constantly reinforced as it passed through the hands of the Holy Roman Emperors, the House of Burgundy, the Habsburgs, so you spelled wrong, the Habsburgs, various French and Spanish kings, and eventually the Prussians. These have all left archaeological and cultural marks in the various gates, bastions, and forts. The historical part of Luxembourg City has also kept its original layout and public buildings. Number 6, there are over 70 castles in the Grand Duchy. Some estimate that the country has more than 130 chateaux, though many of those should actually be classified as large residences or manor houses rather than castles, plus several are in various states of repair. This is pretty. It says this is in Vlaanderen. It's really medieval and pretty looking. Still plenty of them are in good shape, and the official number of castles given by the government is over 70. Number 7, the national dish of Luxembourg is pork and beans. The
national dish, and perhaps the most traditional of Luxembourg, is this, which is a savory dish of smoked or cured pork with broad beans in a creamy sauce. The pork is soaked in water overnight, then boiled and skimmed and cooked with vegetables and spices. It is served with beans and boiled potatoes and is considered to be the Luxembourg national dish. They just didn't finish the sentence. And you can find a recipe on the website of the Luxembourg Times. Sounds pretty good. I'd eat that. Sounds not bad. Number 8, Luxembourg once boasted the world's largest wine list. Restaurant Chigeri was once the proud holder of the Guinness World Record for the most varieties of wine commercially available in a single restaurant. In 2008, the award-winning establishment in Luxembourg City offered a staggering 1,746 selections. That's too many. You need like 5 tops. You don't need over 1,000. My goodness. However, the record has been usurped by the Grand Lisboa in Macau, China. The Casino Hotel is home to Asia's most extensive wine collection and has a wine list with 16,800 different labels. My goodness. Imagine, like, you're at a restaurant and the waiter's like, what would you like to drink? Oh, what do you have? Well, we have over 16,000 things you can choose from. Just pick, we definitely have it. Just say whatever you want. That's too many options. Crazy. On to historical facts about Luxembourg. Number 9. Luxembourg gets its name from an ancient fortress. The official founding date of Luxembourg is 963 CE, with the construction of Luxembourg Castle by Count Siegfried I of the Ardennes. However, before that, the area was already known as this Luxembourg, or Little Fortress. While there isn't much archaeological evidence, its strategic position means there was likely an ancient fortress before that, dating back to Roman times. Yeah, true, because the little fortress implies there's a big fortress as well, right? The etymology of Luxembourg, it can possibly be traced back from Old High German to Proto-Germanic. Not going to attempt those. Number 10, there is a giant network of underground tunnels underneath Luxembourg City. Cut out of the solid rock, the Bach and Petrus casemates. I don't know, in French it's casemates. I'm not sure. Casemates. I'm gonna go with that. The casemates are used as part of the city's defenses. The underground vault and tunnel system dates back to the 17th and 18th centuries and contains an area of over 17 kilometers. And here they are, fortifications and casemates. It's interesting, but I'm still not quite sure what it is, other than just a big wall and tunnels. Maybe that's what it is. Luxembourg was granted full independence and neutrality by the 1867 Treaty of London. After the casemates lost their military use, they were repurposed in various ways. For example, over the centuries, they have functioned as a shooting range, mushroom farm, market and concert hall, and champagne vault. The casemates are also air raid shelters during both World Wars. In 1994, the Bach and Petrus casemates became UNESCO World Heritage Sites and are now open to the public. Number 11. The country became one of the leading exponents of international cooperation after World War II. Despite its neutrality, Luxembourg was occupied by German forces during World Wars I and II. Perhaps realizing its small stature, exiled representatives of the country formed the Benelux Customs Union together with Belgium and the Netherlands in Luxembourg was also a founding member of the European Economic Community in 1957, which became the EU in 1993, and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in 1959. That's NATO. Number 12, the Schengen Agreements were signed in Luxembourg. The two agreements, which allow EU citizens to travel visa-free across certain borders, were signed in 1985 and 1990 in the tiny village of Schengen, located in Luxembourg's wine-growing Moselle region. This town borders France and Germany and is a symbol of free movement. I always wondered why it was called that. I assumed, it was named after a place called Schengen, but if you'd asked me where it was, I'd say probably like Germany or Austria, maybe Switzerland. I'd have never guessed Luxembourg. It's interesting. Number 13, Luxembourg City has been listed twice as the European Capital of Culture. The tradition of naming an EU city as the capital of culture started in 1985. Since then, Luxembourg City has been featured twice, in 1995 and 2007, the only city to ever have done so. During the year it is a capital of culture, the city will organize cultural events with a strong pan-European flavor. This often results in significant cultural, social, and economic benefits, as well as urban regeneration and international visibility. Multiple cities can be European capitals of culture at once. Number 14, Luxembourg's former Prime Minister, Xavier Bettel. I assume that's how you pronounce the name. My bad if it's not. Xavier Bettel was the first EU leader to enter into a same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage has been legal in Luxembourg since January 1st, 2015, after a 2013 poll found that 83% of its citizens supported it. As such, Xavier Bettel married his partner, Belgian architect Gauthier Destiné, in May 2015. The politician who served as Prime Minister from 2013 to 2023 was the third openly gay head of government worldwide, following Iceland's Prime Minister Johanna Sigurdardóttir and Belgium's Prime Minister Elio de Rippo. It's awesome. Love that. Number 15. The tiny country has won 1 gold medal in total at the Olympics. The modern sports event originates from 1896, when Athens hosted the first Olympic Games since ancient times. Luxembourg has been competing since the 1912 Summer Olympics in Stockholm. In all those years, the country won only 1 official gold medal, when Josie Bartel taking down the men's 1500 meters at the 1952 Summer Olympics. They haven't won a medal in over 60-something years. Oh my gosh. My goodness. I guess 70 now, right? My goodness. Poor Luxembourg. Money and power. Typical Luxembourg. Number 16. Luxembourg is the only Grand Duchy in the world. After the defeat of Napoleon in 1815, the Congress of Vienna made Luxembourg into a Grand Duchy, a state or territory ruled by a Grand Duke or Duchess. The present Grand Duke is Crown Prince Henri, who assumed the throne in October 2000. 17. It's one of the smallest countries in Europe. The tiny European state has an area of around 2,586 square kilometers, which is about the same size as the county of Dorset in the UK, and slightly smaller than Rhode Island in the US. However, 6 countries are even more miniature than Luxembourg. From smallest to largest are Vatican City, Monaco, San Marino, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Andorra. If you had said, what's bigger, Malta or Andorra, I would have said Malta. Andorra's bigger than I thought, but probably not by much. Number 18, and yet the richest country in the world. Despite its size, the country has the world's highest GDP per capita at nearly $143,740 Luxembourg ranks miles above the world's second and third richest countries. Macau SAR, which is at $134,140 and Ireland at $133,900. But before you pack your bags and move to Luxembourg, the International Monetary Fund estimates that Ireland will overtake the country as the world's wealthiest nation in 2027. Interesting. Number 90. Luxembourg has the highest minimum wage in the world. The country pays unskilled workers a minimum of 2,571 euros per month. Skilled workers earn at least 3,085 euros per month. This is roughly $15.87 per hour, which, according to the World Economic Forum, beats Australia at $14.97 as the country with the highest minimum wage in the world. Number 20. Luxembourg is a notorious tax haven. The tiny country ranks 6th on both the 2021 Corporate Tax Haven Index and the 2020 Financial Security Index, measuring the world's biggest private tax havens. Interestingly, investigative journalists leaked some 28,000 tax agreements, tax returns, and other documents at the end of 2014, exposing how around 350 of the world's largest companies, including Pepsi, IKEA, Procter & Gamble, JP Morgan, and FedEx, were able to save millions by using schemes made possible by Luxembourg's favorable corporate tax laws. LuxLeaks showed how companies set up complicated accounting and legal structures to legally move their profits from the high-tax countries where they have their HQs to low-tax Luxembourg, and in some cases pay less than 1% in tax. While the government promised reforms, these have yet to come to fruition 7 years later. Tisk, 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 my goodness. Number 21. The highest court in matters of EU law is located in Luxembourg. I don't like how I can't say EU in like an ASMR. It's two soft sounds together, right? I don't like it. Doesn't feel good saying it in a whisper. But that's just me. The state is the headquarters of the European Court of Justice, which makes sure that EU law is interpreted and applied the same way across all member states. For example, in 2022, it ruled that a public register of business stakeholders was against EU privacy laws. The court is not to be confused with the International Court of Justice, located in The Hague in the Netherlands, which advises on and settles international disputes such as crimes against humanity. Facts about the people of Luxembourg. 22. Luxembourg has the lowest population of all the EU countries. Understandably, the Grand Duchy has the smallest population in the EU. In 2021, Luxembourg had around 339,900 citizens, roughly representing 53% of all inhabitants. The remaining 47% comprised approximately 180 nationalities, among which Portuguese was 14.5% of the total population. Why are there so many Portuguese people in Luxembourg? I need a European to explain that. That's so interesting. The French are 7.6%, Italians are 3.7%, Belgians are 3.1%, and Germans are 2%. You'd think this community, even like these four, would be higher on the list, but Portuguese, that's so interesting. I wonder why. There's got to be a reason. Number 23, nearly half of the workforce are cross-border commuters. Cross-border workers live in one country and work in another. In fact, they are in almost every sector of the Luxembourgish economy. Most non-Luxembourg nationals traveling across the border are French at 78,500 workers, Belgians at 39,400 workers, and offers free public transportation, making it well worthwhile to hop across the border. And if you think that fact is cool, free public transportation. Number 24. Luxembourg is the first country in the world to provide free public transport. Since February 29th, 2020, you no longer have to pay to take the train, bus, or the brand new tram. All public transportation in Luxembourg is free for both residents and tourists. Keep in mind, however, that if you wanted to travel in first class, you will have to buy a ticket. That's a fair trade-off, I think. It's pretty cool. Other random facts about Luxembourg. 25. Luxembourg has 3 official languages. The national languages of Luxembourg are French, German, and Luxembourgish. Usually, Luxembourgish is taught in nursery schools, while French and German are spoken in primary schools. In the workplace, media, and everyday life, it's generally common to hear all 3 languages, as well as Portuguese and English. At Parliament, however, they only use Luxembourgish, while laws are written in French. Goodness, you gotta be multilingual in Luxembourg, I suppose, if you're a government worker at least. 26. Over a third of the country is covered in trees. In 2010, Luxembourg had 38.9 kilohectares of natural forest, which meant over 40% of its territory was denoted as forest area. By 2022, however, it had lost around 85 hectares of natural forest, leaving a little over a third of Luxembourg as forest areas. The most treed-up province of Luxembourg is Diekirch. Treed up. I've never heard that phrase. Interesting. Number 27. The average temperature is only 9.4 degrees Celsius. Luxembourg's climate can be described as a moderate oceanic Western European climate, with mild winters and pleasant summers. The warmest month is July, averaging around 25 degrees Celsius, and the coldest month is January, with an average of 5 degrees Celsius. Taking all 12 months into account, the average temperature in Luxembourg is only 9.4 degrees Celsius. It's pretty chilly. That's like, I would say like 20, 25 Fahrenheit. It's pretty cold. I could be wrong though. Interestingly, also with this pretty picture, oh, the wine, the river, the hills, that's pretty. That's in Remish. Interestingly, the highest temperature ever recorded in Luxembourg was 40.8 degrees Celsius in 2019. The lowest temperature, on the other hand, was negative 24.6 degrees Celsius in 1956. Yo, the other day, oh my gosh, I just remembered this. The other day, what was it? I made this like potato bake. I had never made this recipe before, and it was like set the oven to 200 degrees, and I'm like, that's really low, but maybe for this potato bake it has to cook at this low temperature. And they took it out when it was done, served it to my family, and those potatoes were raw. And I was like, what happened? And I look over the recipe, and the temperature was all in Celsius. Goodness, I put it in a frying pan and fried it up for like 5 minutes, and then it was delicious. But whoopsie, always make sure you're checking which temperature you're using. My bad. Number 28. Luxembourg has the highest rate of car ownership in the EU. With 681 cars per 1,000 population, the tiny nation boasts the highest rate of motorization ownership in all EU member states. That said, this number might be impacted by cross-border workers or non-inhabitants using company cars registered in the country. That makes sense. Perhaps understandably then, Luxembourg's petrol is one of the cheapest in the EU. Interesting. Number 29. The Luxembourg flag is red, white, and blue, just like the Dutch one. People often wonder, why does Luxembourg have the Dutch flag? The answer is simple. It doesn't. Well, both flags look similar with their 3 horizontal stripes. The colors are completely different. Luxembourg's flag is red, technically silken ruby, white, and light blue or astro blue. In recent years, there have been a couple of petitions to change the national flag to the red lion. These never received enough signatures, however. Luxembourg's flag, if you're taking a flag quiz, is really easy to identify because, like, this color blue I don't think is really used in any other flag. Like, it's a sharp, bright blue. Whereas, some countries use dark blue or like a muted blue. Like Botswana or Somalia has this really pretty light blue, and this is like glaringly light blue. But I like it. I like that I can identify Luxembourg's flag so fast because of that blue. And number 30. Luxembourg is a prime wine country. The Moselle region in eastern Luxembourg is world-renowned for producing wines from 8 grape varieties. Let's see how much I mispronounce these grapes, including Auxerrois, Elbling, Chardonnay, I know that one, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Riesling, and I don't know if that's French or German. If it's German, it's Riefraner, or if it's French, it's Rifané. Oh, I like that. Let's say it's French. The most famous of all Grand Duchy's wines is Riesling, a classy fruity wine with mineral notes. I've never drinking alcohol my whole life. I know nothing about wine. But yeah, I think, see this, I wonder if I can zoom in. See Luxembourg's flag, see this bright, bright blue. I don't think any other flag has that, like, color blue stripe, like maybe little details that color blue, but this stripe is very pronounced, very different from the Dutch one. But that was 30 facts about Luxembourg. Let's look at this pretty picture. Ooh, so cute. Very cozy fall vibes. I love it. Thank you for watching. Have a good